Backpacking Europe full-time is not free, but it's actually a lot more affordable than most people think. We just spent the last 33 days backpacking Budapest, and this is our exact budget down to the dollar of what we spent. So if you've ever wondered how much it actually costs to backpack through Europe, this is the video for you. Welcome back to Rootless Roads. Before we get into actual numbers, here's a little bit of context so you can see how we travel and what our lifestyle in Budapest really looked like. We are kind of right in the middle of budget travelers. We are not hostile backpackers looking to, save every dime that we can, but we're also not crazy splurging on super expensive dinners and really nice places to stay either. We kind of fall right in the middle. So we were in Budapest for about 33 days. Throughout that 33 days, we did stay in a pretty nice Airbnb. It was really nice for the value of, I think it was about $1,300 for the entire month. That was in District 8. Super close to everything that we wanted it to be, super close to restaurants, cafes, all of the tourist attractions. It was the perfect place to stay. Overall, we do feel like Budapest was pretty dang affordable. The entire month ended up costing us about $4,000. Again, we're gonna get into the nitty-gritty numbers and where all of that money went, and kind of walk through how we think we could have done a lot cheaper, and obviously how you could do it a lot more expensive as well. So without further ado, I'm just going to pull up the spreadsheet that we use to track our income. Okie dokie. Here is the fancy smancy spreadsheet that we use to track all of our expenses while we were in Budapest and Prague and all the future places that we'll be going as well. So I'm going to spend some time walking through this, how this works. So basically, we just populate this at the end of every day. We organize this into a few different categories between grocery, eating out, drinks, activities, transportation, miscellaneous, which was a bunch of random stuff here, health and wellness, and then we have our total there. And then we have another sheet for our monthly recurring expenses, basically our bigger expenses. So we're trying to keep this to kind of the quick things, this to our monthly. So let's walk through it and kind of give some context again on how this actually worked for us. So we were in Budapest from the 3rd to the 31st. So actually like 28 days, not 33, 28 days. And we spent $557 on groceries. We spent $557 on eating out. Believe it or not, that is actually true. Those both came out to be the exact same number. We spent $97 on drinks, which was really beer and coffee. $169 on activities, $31 on transportation, $548 on miscellaneous things, and $147 on health and wellness. And then over here, our lodging was $1,342. Our flights were $1,040. Now, I'm not actually including this in the budget because we're going to be over in Europe for quite some time. So what we're going to actually do is average the flights out at the end of the trip. We did actually use credit card points for these as well. So we did fly for free, but the flights were $1,040 for two people. We each pay $100 a month for our international phone plan. We pay $112 for two people for health insurance. You can ignore this one. And then we pay about $150 all in for all of our subscriptions, Spotify, Netflix, YouTube, all that kind of stuff. So let's get into a little breakdown on how this actually works. So I would say that we typically cooked dinner around 3 to 4 nights a week, and then we would cook lunch about 4 to 5 times a week. So all of the other meals were eating out. So we can see here, these were all the meals we ate out. It's, 4 there, 5, 7, 9, 14, I'm skipping the pastries, 16, 18, 20, 21. So we ate out, including the pastries, probably like 25 times, which is almost once a day for one meal. But we did do a pretty good job at getting groceries as well. So that definitely kept that price down. Eating out was not super expensive. You can see all of these meals were for 2 people. So 21 bucks for 2 people, 20 bucks for 2 people, 40 for 2 people. Most of the meals ranged anywhere from 10 to 20 bucks a person, give or take, which was pretty epic for what we were getting. Here's 2 more that I'd skip there. So yeah, we basically ate out once a day. Meals were pretty dang affordable. And we have to remember that this budget total is for 2 people. So if you were by yourself, this would be obviously significantly cheaper as well. Drinks. One thing that Natalie and I are pretty adamant on is not spending a lot of money on drinks. That's just one super easy way to save a lot of money when you're traveling. The markup on drinks going out is just absurd, and you can blow through so much money so quickly. So really, we limit our drinks to going and getting coffees in the morning sometimes and getting some beers while we're out as well, but we very rarely spend money on expensive cocktails. Activities. We spent about $169, which is not much. We did the baths in Budapest, which was fairly underwhelming. We went to an opera. The escape room for $30 was awesome. A couple tickets to get into a few things. So yeah, that was pretty affordable. Transportation, we did not really use the metro or any transportation whatsoever. The only transportation that we'd paid for on the entire month there was the taxi from the airport to our Airbnb on the first day. So that's pretty awesome. The city was really walkable. Miscellaneous, there's a bunch of other random stuff in here. So we spent 33 bucks on a French press. We each got a couple new books. I got a new pair of jeans, and apparently jeans are $105 now. $21 at a thrift store, and then we spent about $340 on tattoos. So mine was $190, hers was $150. So obviously that's an expense that could easily be cut out. We bought a puzzle for 18 bucks. And then the last piece was health and wellness. So we did buy some shampoo and conditioner, some like healthy organic stuff. And then our gym passes were 44 bucks a piece as well for 30 days. We spent 19 bucks on meds. I actually got sick for a few days, which is pretty crap. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole expense. So I think this could be quite a bit cheaper. Obviously, if you wanted it to be, you could eat out less, save some money there, not really get any drinks out. You could probably skip on the bath passes. It wasn't that cool. Not spend $100 on jeans, not spend $500 or whatever we spent on tattoos. And that would make it significantly cheaper. But both of these can pretty much be divided in half if you were just one person. So if you were backpacking solo, food for an entire month in Budapest would probably cost you around $500, which is pretty awesome. And then to our monthly expenses, again, our lodging was $13.42 for that entire time we were there. Our place was beautiful. It was amazing. It wasn't huge. It wasn't glamorous by any means, but it was a home. It was very cozy. It was very lived in. It was in a great location. You can do some cheaper Airbnbs. There wasn't much cheaper, but I actually just looked at hostels as well. And there are hostels right now running for 15 to 20 bucks a night. So even at a month with 30 days, if you did 20 bucks a night, that's only $600, which is actually less than half of what we spent on lodging. So again, if you wanted to do this very cheaply, you definitely could. Again, our flights were $1,050 or $1,040. We use points, and we're going to be overseas for at least a year. So this is going to be averaged out. Phone plans, we spend $200 to keep our Verizon phone numbers. We each spend $100 a month each. It's kind of a ripoff, but with my business and Natalie's work, we need to retain our numbers in texting, which Airello and those platforms don't really allow you to do very well. So we just kind of bite the bullet, pay a little bit there. We do pay for travel insurance and health insurance just in case, and then about $150 for the subscriptions. You can ignore this. This is for the UK, which we'll be in a couple of months. But yeah, all in, our total budget was $3,900 pretty much. So if you were one person and you really wanted to do this cheaply, I think you could probably get by with, man, $2,000 or less, to be honest. If you've spent $600 on the accommodation, $500 on food, that's $1,100, and that leaves you $900 to do all sorts of other stuff, and obviously helps you pay for this kind of stuff too. So Budapest was very affordable. It was an awesome city. We loved it. We would definitely go